Did you know that a lot of what we're seeing with the Podesta plan and Arctic frost, which has been in the news, which Lord Voldemort has talked about, do you know that a lot of that is kind of old school stuff that's been done for a long time? What am I talking about? Well, let's talk about this first before we get into the neater stuff. So, according to documents released earlier, the FBI and the DOJ weaponized their power against President Trump and the allies of Trump in Operation Arctic Frost, paid for by our taxpayer money. I'm so glad that my IRS, the pound of flesh that they cut from me, is put into also running ops against the ops. And what we found out as well today was that it included Lord Voldemort. People targeted included Bannon, Giuliani, etc. And Lord Voldemort said today he was also included in that. That might also explain why Lord Voldemort is under such legal lawfare. It was recently reported that Biden's FBI and Jack Smith spied on 8 Republican senators during Arctic frost in the investigations into J6. And the reason we're talking about this is because pretty much every party that's in tends to try to utilize the establishment and the intelligence agencies to their own benefit. This should kind of be common sense. I'm not saying that it's good. I'm just saying it's what happens. I think what's crazy is how brazen this was in the last 8 years and just how extreme and intense the psyops were. If you remember, during COOF, they utilized Harvard psychological warfare operatives to basically figure out the best ways to scare the crap out of the public. We learned that at Black Lives Matter meetings, the COOF didn't affect anybody. But if you went to a Trump rally, it would affect you. And 2,000 plus scientists signed a petition that the COOF would not hurt you at a Black Lives Matter rally. This is one of my all-time favorite headlines because, I mean, there's just so much awesomeness in that headline. And imagine believing that, and probably half of the country does. That's what, every time I start to get a little concerned, like, why are we not growing faster here? I realize because everyone is retarded in an extreme way, and that's okay. And I'm reconciled to that. The other reason I noticed too was that on Instagram, apparently I've been shadow banned, according to the tech support, for 3 years, 4 years, because there was a post 4 years ago of Jeffrey Dahmer. Jeffrey Dahmer put me in Instagram prison for 4 years. And you don't get told this. It's the Spanish Inquisition shadow banning, and you don't know what you're shadow banned for. So shout out to Jeffrey Badonkadonk, my boy over there. Is he still around? Is he still doing his thing? I don't know what happened to Jeffrey Badonkadonk. He may not be around anymore, but yeah, they weaponized the government against their political opponents. Shocker. But I think, again, this was just so brazen that they would target not just, Trump, but basically anybody remotely conservative. That's what's pretty crazy about this. And they really have no qualms about doing the most underhanded things. Remember, J6 had countless undercover feds and FBI there, admittedly now. We talked about that at the time. I said that I guarantee there were countless feds there. People called me insane when I talked about that years ago, even when it was happening. And lo and behold, we find out once again that is the case. So I know this is kind of like boring political stuff, but The reason I'm bringing it up is that I had a great interview today with Nephilim Death Squad, and we got pretty deep into civil unrest, and they about to turn off my EBT card. Swipe my EBT. Swipe my EBT. Oh, snap.